up, everyone? Thank you for joining us. We are here with Tony Royster Jr. Tony, how you doing, man?
What's good, man? How are you?
Doing pretty good,
Nice
buddy.
to see you again.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming back to Drumeo.
Sure.
Yeah. And we're here today to do, obviously, pick Tony's brain apart a little bit here. We're talking about creative concepts. We have quite a bit to talk about, actually. We were trying to figure out exactly what to focus on with this lesson just the last couple of days here, and there's so many awesome concepts that we have, so I thought we might as well just talk about some of those concepts, creatively speaking. But before we get into that, Tony, I'm sure there's some people here. We have a max chat, by the way, so there's a lot of people watching. But there might be some people here that don't know who you are, so maybe just give a quick introduction to you. Who do you play for? That kind of stuff.
Okay, well, make a long story short, my name is Tony Royster Jr. I'm not going to tell you my age. It's been a long time. I've been playing drums for approximately 27 years now. You might have seen me play with artists such as Jay-Z, Beyonce, play with Lil Wayne, pretty much everybody in the industry, but I currently play with Jay-Z. And yeah, I'm just here to share some knowledge.
Yeah, man.
I guess, you know, a couple of tips, however I can help you become a better drummer.
Very cool. Well, again, thanks for coming out. And if you guys want to follow Tony Royster Jr. Yourself, go to his website, TonyRoysterJr.com, or you can follow him on Instagram and all the other social media outlets at the Dr. Royster. So just Instagram at the Dr. Royster, Facebook.com/the Dr. Royster.
Boom.
Boom. And you have a new stick bag you're coming out with Let's Tray.
Yeah, 2.0. It's going to be pretty dope. I'm really excited about it. The first one did really well.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm always trying to come up with new and better things, you know, stay creative, keep the juices flowing, and I think this is going to be another great bag. So hopefully everybody goes and picks that up.
Lextray.com if you want to
Yes,
look more into that. Sorry. Speaking of creativity, you're also coming out with a new album very soon too. You're working on a new solo project, is it?
Yeah. I mean, I've done several DVDs. I've also had like someone to play along CDs from the DVD, but never an actual body of work that was basically just like my playing, my ideas when it came just to music, my musicality, and my approach to different genres. So that's what I'm working on now. I'm very excited about it. I'm working with some great producers, and you know, hopefully I have some great musicians lined up to also play on there. And you know, we'll see what happens. It's at the very beginning stages of the album, but it's coming together. Very nice.
Very cool. So there's this little bit about Tony, and obviously you're playing a massive DW kit, but you also have some Roland pads hooked up here. This is like what you call like a hybrid setup. We also want to thank Roland for bringing Tony out for this lesson. So we'll talk about gear a little bit later. I just want to kind of get into some drumming and some creative concepts here. So let's just dive right on in. Now, when we were talking in the last couple of days, one of the big things that we're trying to come up with is a great way to build your independence, and a creative way to build your independence. You have a really cool lick that you were showing us, and I want you to share that with everybody here at Drumeo. So,
yeah, sure. So, you know, when I play, I pretty much just like to just try to be creative as possible, and you know, sometimes you do things that you kind of remember and things that help you with certain aspects of your playing. And in this case, it's a groove that I like to do. I've done it several times, but it's a great way to practice your independence.
Yeah.
And it's a cool groove to add into a solo. Like if you have nowhere to go as far as a solo or where to begin, it's just a great way to build a foundation. So this basic, well, I'm going to start off basic, and it gets a little bit more complicated. But you start off with quarter notes on the ride, and it's basically triplets between my left hand and the kick, and then you just alternate that through the drums, the floor tom, snare, and the hi-hat, and we'll get to that, but I'll just basically show you what it is.
Yeah, show us what it is, yeah.
Pattern of this particular groove. Now I'm going to add the floor tom. the snare. So that's basic. And then you can also follow the ride with the kick drum, and I like to add doubles, just mix it up a little bit and just become creative with the groove, see where you can take it.
Okay, let's hear it.
Build up the speed.
No doubt, that sounded so good.
Oh, thank you.
So you're basically just starting with quarter notes on the ride, and you're splitting up the triplets, the eighth note triplets, with your left hand and your right foot to start.
Yeah, basically, that's basically what it is.
Show it to us again a little bit. Start it slow, and then kind of build the speed up, because you can play this thing so fast.
Okay.
Jeez, that's just nuts. So it's just cool to see where you can take that, because that's just when you think about it, the most simplistic version of it is just a basic independence exercise.
Yeah.
But you've taken that to a completely new level and added some groove. What goes through your mind when you're adding those doubles? Is there any kind of standard, like when you play those doubles, or just all improv?
Yeah, all improv. I just basically want to stay in time. That's the main thing. And wherever you can just, throw it in there to see how it sounds, see what you come up with. That's basically what I did, try to start as basic as possible. And it started off with just one double when I initially did the groove. And then I was like, I wonder if I can put two doubles here and then just see where I can take it. And that's what I come up with. I still come up with different variations of it, from time to time, but that's basically what it is.
Cool. And when you play those doubles on your bass drum, it looks like you're following with your ride cymbal as well.
Yeah, following with the ride. And it's just easy. That's a better way to stay in time, too, and don't really get thrown off once you start getting to higher speeds. And it's just good to be able to accent the ride with the kick, because it really brings that out, as opposed to just keeping the quarter notes and just the doubles and the kick. I mean, you can, but when you add just the ride and the bell or whatever other cymbal that you have, hi-hats, whatever it is that you choose to use, it really brings out those notes when you play it together in unison.
And you can move that around the kit too. It doesn't have to stay on the ride. So.
Yeah, you can hi-hat, you can do it on a time, whatever you decide, whatever you choose.
Do you mind showing us a couple more different variations? You knew that was coming. I even warned you.
You warned me. I'm just gonna play it on the hi-hat this time.
Sure. Sweet, man. You guys probably have a lot of questions. I see a lot of questions coming in here. Just to remind you guys, if you do have questions, there's a submit a question link below. Submit there. We will try to get through all of them, but there's, like I said, a full chat today, so we probably won't. And if you guys like what you're seeing here, we do this all the time at Drumeo. You just have to go to drumeo.com/trial, and you can set yourself up for a free 30-day trial of Drumeo Edge, where you can see we do this kind of stuff every day there. Okay, so really cool groove, really cool independence exercise. Let's talk a little bit more about developing some hand-to-foot independence. I know I see a lot of playing, a lot of solos that you do. You have a lot of creative control and independence with your hand-to-foot combinations and stuff like that. So why don't you talk a little bit about how you develop that, or how others can develop that kind of speed and independence?
Well, yeah. So basically, when I practice some exercises, one thing that a drummer would like to do is basically try to make sure that his hands could be as fast or precise as his feet, vice versa, and that's what I like to do. And that's why I practice some of these exercises. This one particular exercise is very simple, just quarter notes, and you speed it up. Basically just creating a single stroke roll between the tom, or your left hand, your right hand, and your foot. That's basically what I like to do. So I start off just with going around the toms, quarter notes, and speeding it up with the left. I'll start off with the left first. Okay, and the purpose of doing that is not only just to get the singles together, the quarter notes, but also to build your precision when it comes to playing around the set. That's extremely important too, because once you start trying to do fast fills, rolls, mixing your rudiments up, no one really wants to hit rims or anything like that, or try your best not to. Mm-hmm. So these are some great exercises to really dial in, with precision on your toms and the drum. So I'm gonna try that with my right hand. So now I'm just going to add the kick drum to follow it. Okay, so the point of adding the kick drum with building precision is to make sure you try not to flam. Mm. You want it to be as unison as possible. And so you just build up the speed. Okay. And then you just alternate between the tom and the kick, and pretty much just make somewhat of a single stroke roll.
Okay. Okay, and then you can just do different variations around the kit, and you can speed it up as well once you get comfortable. So that's the secret to all your
No, that's just an exercise that I like to work on, and and like I said, it just really helps define just how strong you are with your kick and your hands, to make sure they're even. And that's basically what I focus on when I do this particular exercise.
It helps a lot with your precision too,
yeah,
and everything, which is very important. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Okay, so that obviously pretty self-explanatory there. Let's move on to another one. Let's talk about more building some creative concepts within your groove. Mm-hmm. Now, when I see you play, you have so many cool little inflections that you play on your hi-hat, on your snare during your actual beat. Do you mind maybe sharing something like that you can teach?
Yeah. Okay, so I basically just play a groove in 4, and let's see, maybe add, I don't know, maybe a right left combination within the groove.
Okay.
And also incorporate the kick with the actual inflection, what you call it.
Sure.
Okay, I can play a little bit slower. Basically what it is. And then, you know, once you speed it up, and just, you know, add other little rudiments, if you will. I mean, once you get comfortable with the groove, but I'll speed it up and just play it in like a really, like music form if I'm playing out with a band or something like that.
Sure.
Just do all kinds of different things.
No doubt. So
Yeah.
that was, what was the sticking on that one, right?
Right, left. Right, my bad.
Right. Cool, and I'm seeing you're following your bass drum a lot with those hi-hat notes.
Yeah.
How important is that for the integrity of that little lick there?
Yeah, it's very important just because, like with the other grooves that I did, it really brings out the actual notes that you're doing within the groove. You know, and that it kind of takes away, not necessarily taken away, but once you're playing the groove, you do that, it helps people understand that this is the actual feel that I'm doing, and when you go back to the groove, you can see the difference. You can really pull those two apart.
Now, as far as placement, when do you play that? Because it's a very short little lick. It's a very short little pattern that you're playing.
Yeah.
Where do you find the best part to position that inside of your groove?
I mean, you can do it maybe on 2 or 3, like right in the middle. It's like you said, it's an inflection. So basically, I mean, you want to keep a groove. You don't want to do it actually at the very beginning or once you start a groove with some musicians. It's something that you do as just a spice, you know, that you put within the pot. So maybe I might play a groove for 3 bars, and then on the 4th one I might do it on, you know, on the 2nd bar. Like, I'll just explain or show a demo.
Sure, yeah.
So you can use it as a setup fill, you know, into the next bar. And I mean, you can just pretty much use it anywhere, but don't try to do it as much. I'm only doing it like that right now, so I can explain and show. But you know, it's just a nice little thing you can throw in there.
Now, when you're playing your grooves, this is a question that I have for you personally. When you're playing your grooves, I see you doing a lot of broken up stuff with your hi-hats, like a lot of chord notes, sporadic shots here and there. Like, what's going through your mind when you're playing that kind of stuff? Or is it just keeping the backbeat there and whatever happens, happens? Or is there some sort of musical connection that you're placing there? Like, what's going through your mind when you're creating those kind of grooves?
Yeah, basically, for sure, keeping the backbeat there, making sure the groove doesn't go anywhere. Just like with ghost notes, I just use that as colors, you know, just to fill up just that segment of music that you're playing within the groove. And I try not to do as much, but I don't know, it's a feeling thing too. You know, it's just something that you develop over time. And it really also depends on the style of music that you're playing as well. Some music doesn't require any of that. It's straight 4/4, whatever the beat is, no ghost notes, no nothing.
Okay.
But you know, when you have the opportunity and the freedom to be free when it comes to ghost notes, or you know, just adding extra notes on the hi-hat, or whether you know, drum, you know, you can just do whatever you want to do. And that's basically when I play. I just like to be free and just be creative. You know, just as long as I don't take away from the music, that's very important to me.
That's first and foremost.
Yeah.
Is the song. Cool. We got a couple more things I want to talk about here. Just looking at the chat, it's going pretty crazy. We got a lot of people in here. But let's move on to more of a fill application, because that was great for grooves. The first one was great for independence, just working on your overall 3-limb independence. But what about like for fills? You're very creative with your fills, and I see you do this one fill in particular where you use, it's almost like you're playing, it's almost like a single stroke 4 or something with your double bass and the tom. Do you want to explain that one and what you actually do there?
Yeah, it's just basically right, left with my foot, and just adding the tom at the end, and you can use it as a fill or a groove.
Okay.
And this is something that I like to do. It's fun, it sounds good, and you can just use it in different genres of music, and it's also great for soloing as well.
Sure. Sounds so good when you get it up to speed there. And you're not doing singles. You're doing 2 on the right foot, 1 on the left.
Yes.
Is there a reason for that in particular, or?
No, just with that particular feel and groove. I mean, that's what I came well with. I mean, you can do different variations once you know. I mean, it's double pedal. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. But this, for that particular feel, that's what I decided to do, and it just feels good. So.
Do you tend to use that more within a fill setting, or do you find a lot of grooves that use
that? I kind of use that more so for, I would like to say groove, but I mean, in a fill setting as well. Like if you're playing within a solo. Yeah, and you don't necessarily have to go from time to time all the way down your drum set, and you can just use that as just a groove, period. So,
very cool.
There it is.
There it is, yeah. All right, time to switch gears a little bit and talk a little bit about creativity within the meter, or talking about maybe polyrhythms and stuff. I hear you play a lot of cool sounding, almost like modulated sounding grooves, polyrhythmic sounding beats, and we were talking about one even before the lesson that I'd love for you to show everybody there. It's kind of like a 4/3 type of feel.
Yeah, basically 4/3, and then later on, same thing. You follow the kick with the hi-hat, whatever drum you decide to use, cymbal, and to demonstrate that right now. Okay, so that's basically the basic of the groove, and then you can add doubles as well.
A little bit slower, if you don't mind.
Got you. And then I can build up the speed. Shall I?
You shall.
Let's try it. Let's see what happens.
So I see you're sneaking in your left hand there on the hi-hat. So I'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's also what we were talking about before, which is being creative and just using ghost notes. And that basically just went wherever. I just threw that in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can try to do it slow and add the hi-hat in there and just see exactly where I throw them in, but they're all over the place. Mm-hmm. So y'all just pick which one you want to use. All right. it's a little different.
Yeah. So there's 5 basic concepts there, some just ideas, I guess, that you've shared with us that help with your creativity. But just a question, just a few improv here. Like, what do you think helped you the most when you were working on becoming more creative?
What helped me the most? When I had the opportunity to practice a lot, I've been on tour lately for the past couple of years pretty consistently. But whenever I do have the chance to practice, usually when I go into the practice room, I just like to just let everything out. Just go ham. Just go for blood, if you will, and mistakes and all. Just to push myself, whether it's groove-wise, whether it's doing something like this last pattern I just did for long periods of time to build my strength and endurance. Because you need endurance when you're playing long shows on tour, and then also just to keep your chops up as well. But yeah, just to practice my endurance, I like to just go all out, mistakes and all. For sure, practicing this regular basic rudiments, singles, doubles, paradiddles. Not necessarily always in the practice room. I do that at home too. With sticks that are a little bit heavier than what I usually play with, marching band sticks.
Yep.
So that's very good. There's just the stretch before you play as well. But yeah, when it comes to me becoming more creative, I just like to go into the practice room and just don't hold nothing back. That's basically my situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have, like I said, this hybrid kit set up here where you have a TD30 that's kind of interspliced between your kit here. How do you find that helps or gives you some ideas when it comes to creativity with different sounds, different options, and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, this helps you build your musicality because now you have the opportunity to be able to make somewhat your own song, if you will, and playing around that. And that also helps you develop ways to build solos too. So I think it's a great way to do that, just incorporating a few sounds. It doesn't have to be a lot, but I can demonstrate some as well if you would like.
I would actually love that if you want showcase this kit and what you can do and all that. And guys, while he's doing the solo, if you have any questions, get them in now. I'm gonna do my best to get as many answered as possible, but it's gonna be tough. And if you guys, like I said, if you guys like what you're seeing here, we do this every day. Drumeo.com/trial. You get a free 30-day membership, and you can see what it's all about. But yeah, while he's doing this, get your questions in, and Tony, take it away, man.
It's my turn. Okay.
It's your turn.
there it is.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's great. We've got quite a few questions.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll just start with a few, and we'll see how we get to. So the first question, actually, we have a lot of people asking the same question, so I'll just ask it from the members, I guess, in general. Your foot technique. They were watching you do doubles with your foot. They want to know what kind of technique you do. How did you practice to get that kind of speed? Is it a slide and all that? So.
Okay, I figured that was going to come up.
Yeah.
So, with my foot technique, okay, so it's kind of weird. When I was younger, I tried a lot of different ways. Just playing with the heel up, the sliding technique, whatever somebody tried to tell me to do, I tried it. But it just didn't work for me, especially when I was trying to develop speed. So I kind of use the technique of when you hit a speed back, boxing wise, and it's basically me just catching the rebound of the pedal. And it's all about feel for me, not necessarily an actual technique like sliding. I might be sliding, looks like it, but I'm really focusing on the weight of the pedal and the weight of the beater. And depending on what I want to play, that's how my foot would change according to what I'm trying to do. So as you can see, it's not an actual sliding motion. I'm channeling in and trying to, catch the weight of the pedal. Mm-hmm. So that's basically my technique. It's not a sliding technique. It's not side to side. It's not anything like that. It's basically just me feeling the weight of the pedal and applying. I don't even necessarily know what I'm applying. It's just catching the weight of the pedal. It's really hard to explain, but that's basically what I do.
Do you have any exercises that you remember or things that you remember doing to develop that speed and control for that, or?
Man.
Just years of playing?
It's just years of playing and just, man, it's really difficult to try to explain that because literally me coming up, I never really did little exercises per se to build my speed. It just came. And like I said, I never did any type of sliding or heel, toe, whatever. Drumeo has an amazing foot technique that he uses. I tried that as well, but just for me, what fits best for me is just feeling the weight of the pedal. So I really never had an exercise from basically besides what you see here. Mm-hmm. Is just me just catching the weight of the pedal.
Okay, fair enough. Ryan Proud has a question. Says, can you go through some of your basic hand-to-foot combinations that you like to use, maybe including some different subdivisions and stuff? Is there any go-to ones that you use, or?
Any go-to, basic fills?
Yeah, hand-to-foot combo fills or stuff like that.
Okay. There was one. Let me see how I can break this down. I'll play it first. I'll play a couple, and then I'll see which one I'll break down. It's crazy. That's basically just freestyling right there. So I don't really have any go-to, it's so great. These questions, when I play, I don't really come up with go-to fills and go-to, like you said, subdivision. I really don't do any of that. I really don't write anything down either. It's just basically what I feel and what I play, and I think that's what makes my drumming a little bit different from others as well. I don't know, just becoming creative, and if I play some things and y'all can transcribe it, then then you have it. You know what I'm saying? But I really can't break down anything at this point because I really don't have any go-to.
Sure. It's just building that independence
Yeah.
enough so you can play what you want.
Yeah, play what I want and just be creative. You know, nothing that's like set in stone or anything that I do like all the time, like a go-to.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that,
No,
bro.
yeah, no worries. It is what it is. Cat Wizard has a question. Says, "Hey Tony," it says, "I want to know what is the key to developing a good sound and groove. Maybe give us some examples of rhythms or something based on something that we can improve on. I think that's improvise on. Sorry. So yeah, what's your opinion on the key to develop a good sound and groove?"
Well, first of all, depending on what style of music that you're playing, that's key. The tuning of your drums is key. You know, for example, if you're playing like old school funk, you wouldn't want a snare that had extreme crack or several toms and all kinds of different cymbals. You probably wouldn't want that. You know, you just like to have a nice solid snare with, depending on what artist or whatever you're playing with, but that's really key to developing a great groove with whatever music that you're playing, first of all. And then also, while playing, just being consistent with the groove. Not necessarily doing a lot of fills, and listening. You know, that's extremely important. Listening to whomever you're playing with. You know, that's one of the best ways to develop a groove. And playing with musicians is key, too. So, you know, I can demonstrate a few grooves, basically where the crash, why you don't hit certain crashes, because, you know, it'll carry over into the next bar.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of things that you have to remember when you're playing. So I'll just play a couple of grooves, staying consistent, and the groove and the fills that I play are very simple, you know. It's basically just to carry over into the next bar and for taste and just feel. That's a basic groove, and basically what I did there is just incorporate, you know, some ghost notes just to fill it up, you know, add texture to the groove, and you know, it's just all about making the groove feel good, you know, and making people, you know, dance and have a good time, and that's the key to grooving.
This is just making it feel good.
Making it feel good. You know, you don't want to do too many ghost notes, of course, and like I said, it really depends on what situation that you're into. You know, that's just a very general, broad example of a groove and just playing a couple of fills, nothing too crazy, and just crashing on the one.
All right. This one's from Charlelli. Says, first, thank you so much, Tony, for that freaking insane lesson and that solo. Thank you, Drumeo, for making it happen. And Roland, question, how did you develop your dynamics? Do you have any typical exercises that you'd recommend?
How I develop my dynamics.
Yeah.
Let me put this down. So, I mean, first of all, it stemmed from my father. Let's start there. You know, when I was younger, he used to embed all different styles of music into my head. You know, I listened to, first of all, just the greats, Buddy Rich, Gene Krupa, Vinnie Colaiuta, Dave Weckl, Dennis Chambers, and I looked at all these drummers, and then I just listened to music in general. Wes Montgomery, George Benson, just all of these musicians, and just how the drummer played, you know, which involved a lot of dynamics. And so from there, I wanted to apply that to my drums, to my playing. And obviously, I used to be a marching band as well too, so that was also a good thing when it came to dynamics. But you can easily be told what not to do and be fired if you're not using dynamics when you're playing with an artist, and you can learn quick by doing that. But yeah, just me just practicing with music, just practicing with different CDs when I was younger, and just playing with musicians. When somebody's soloing, bring it down. When you're just in the groove, just have a decent volume. You don't really want to overpower, but that comes with just playing and listening to one another. You want the music to blend, and I think once you find that median, then that's when you're automatically using dynamics. Obviously, towards the end of the song, like a vamp or something like that, you're going to want to bring the volume up, move your hand from the hi-hat to the right, depending on what you're playing. But, that just comes from listening. Yeah, so that's basically what I did, just listen.
Cool. Yeah. Question here from one of our members, Fred. He says, Tony, when you played live with major acts like Jay-Z, how much do you improvise versus sticking to the script?
When I first started off playing with Jay, I stuck to the script pretty tough. Rappers, they like to hear what the producer, what they made, the song that they made. That's what they want to hear. So basically, I was able to sample the actual sounds from the records and place them, trigger them on my kick and my snare. So now that I do that, you can't really go too far off the map, because now I have the actual snare sample of the record. So I can't really use ghost notes like that, because now this particular sound is there, and I use a ghost note, it's going to sound crazy. So now, since that I have that triggered, I usually do some hi-hat work to follow Jay's vocals, his lyrics. I improvise a little bit with the toms, but I pretty much stick to the script, but just more so just following his lyrics, and he likes that, but it's hip-hop. Yeah. So it's all about, keeping the groove and making people move, making people dance.
Out of all the shows you play, what's your more favorite, I guess you can say, style of music to play, or what kind of music do you enjoy playing more than others?
I would have to say between like fusion and then funk, like hip hop, just because. Having a sneeze. False alarm.
False alarm.
Okay, it's cold out here in Canada. Okay, it's different. Hip hop for sure, just because that involves extreme amount of feel and just vibing with everyone. And sometimes it's not always about chops or whatever. It's really about seeing how you can fit within this train that's moving, and some people think it's easy, but it's really not, to a certain degree. Like even with Jay or playing with a hip hop artist, you're playing a groove, and then there might be a section when there's no hi-hat, or there's like no snare for like bar 2 or beat 2 and 3 in a bar, and which is very important because it might go with a lyric. That's something that's very important there, so that's why I like hip-hop a lot, because it's really about paying attention and just about vibing. And then with fusion, of course, that's the other side of the spectrum, just like, being able just to be free, playing in different meters and just being creative, and I think between those two, fusion and hip-hop are my two favorite to play.
Cool. Any last words, I guess, tips or inspirational thoughts that you have to the drummers watching based around creating or becoming more creative?
Becoming more creative, any tips?
Practice tips as well, or things that you'd recommend doing?
Yeah, like I said before, when you go into the practice room, first of all, don't get frustrated. The practice room is there for you to make mistakes. There's no one to judge you. And I think a lot of drummers are worried about what people are going to say about them in their playing. Especially if you're practicing with other people, one thing that I suggest is if they're going to be a negative, if they're going to throw a negative vibe towards you, if they're not encouraging you to get better, if it's always a consistent battle, that's negative energy, which will keep you from potentially reaching the level that you want to, achieve. So go into the practice room with a positive attitude. Don't limit yourself as far as playing genres of music too, because anybody can give you a call to play, and you don't want to say no because you're not confident enough in playing a certain style of music. So and I understand that takes time, but you have to start somewhere. So engage in listening to hip hop, engage into listening to a little bit of Latin music from time to time, jazz. Everything relates to one thing, and you can definitely incorporate each of those styles into each of the styles of music that you play. Something, some way, somehow. So that's just a tip that I have. Don't limit yourself.
Cool.
For sure.
Awesome. We're wrapping up with the hour here, guys, and there's just too many questions to answer. And I also want to get Tony to play us out here. Before we do that, let's just talk really quickly about some of the gear choices you have here. But first off, I get a lot of questions here asking about your cymbals. If you want to just really quickly just talk a little bit about the cymbals you have or you chose.
Yeah. First of all, these are Sabian, of course. And they make so many great cymbals. Sometimes it's hard to try to pick which ones I want to use. Today I picked the hand-hammered Dry Ride 21-inch. Here I have two Evolution 17-inch crashes that I put together as some hi-hats, which sound pretty good. HHX 18-inch Evolution over here. And then I believe this is a 17 as well, all brilliant. And I just like the way they sound, like just the tone of these particular cymbals. Here I have a stack, Splash on top of a China. I forgot which one this is. I had several, actually, but...
This is the metal Splash here, I think.
Yeah, and then this is a AX Splash here. And yeah, that's basically just my cymbal setup and ozone under here to add this little trash sound I have. So that's this particular stack. Yep, so that's my cymbal setup. Or in 15-inch Evolution hats.
15-inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
HHX.
Cool. And then you have a half, I guess you can say, of a TD30.
Yeah. Half the drum set pretty much spread around. It's pretty much like a full set, minus like one pad and maybe a cymbal. But yeah, it's pretty much the full TD30 setup with the brain over here. And I just like to incorporate these pads. Also the kick drum as well. It's just a great way. Like I said, the hybrid set is what I think I'm going to pretty much stick to from now on. It's just a fun kit to play.
Totally.
Yeah.
I love what you do with the two bass drums when you play them at the same time and play both pedals at the same time.
Yeah. Just like I said, that just comes with just being creative and just trying different things and seeing what you can come up with.
Very cool. Well, we should probably wrap it up.
Okay.
Leave it at that. Is there anything else you want to share before we do? Any last thoughts or anything like that?
Yeah, man, just stay positive. Don't let nobody, tear you down. I've come a long way. I've had a lot of people tell me that I couldn't do it, and look where I'm at, just with prayer and just staying positive. And that's just, I just want to tell all the drummers there, out there, it's not a battle, it's not a competition, it's none of that. We're supposed to help one another. And I know it's a tough industry out there, to try to get on top, but you know what, when it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And when your time comes, is when your time comes. So, until then, just practice hard and just become the best drummer that you can possibly be.
Very cool. Thanks so much, man.
No worries.
And do you mind playing us out with one more solo?
Sure.
Take your time, man. There's no time limit to this. It could be a 10, 20-minute solo for all.
Wow.
Maybe not that long, but take your time. And thank you again so much for coming out here, buddy. You're always welcome back.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks to Roland for helping bring Tony Royster out here. And thanks to you guys all for watching this lesson. See you guys all later. Tony, take it away.
What's up, everybody? This is your boy, Tony Royster Jr. I just want to say thank you so much for watching the video. If you would like to see more lessons, just please click on the link below.